Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1584. I'm your host, Arwin. And before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can always use the support. Right. So yeah, today's going to be a bit of a short show because I'm late. Anyway, weather today is kind of dreary and drippy. So there's like this micro droplets floating around all the time. It's not so much like heavy rain or anything, but it's like really moist out there. Big gray soup everywhere. Not particularly windy, but a little. I don't know. Did cool down a bit too, but yeah, whatever. It's still pretty nice. Just a bit of a dreary spring day. Hello LVA Paul, first in chat, good to see you. It is Friday, the 28th of April 2023. Let's check the temperature. 13 degrees Celsius, right. So yeah, I think I feel a lot better than yesterday. I had sort of like fever situations, like going up and down, but not it's just I've noticed fever kicking in yesterday at some points, which is actually really pleasant, to be fair, because it just makes you feel really warm. Which I never really mind. And yeah, I think I feel a lot better. Like the pressure seems to be mostly gone. So yeah, I think that it's so funny because I was talking about it even yesterday, but I think that like the painful inflammation stage is over, and it's really turned out not to be that extreme as I thought it was. So yeah, I'm doing good. Although yeah, I mean it did like almost like spread out, but I can't be sure like whether that was just like sort of like stress radiation or actual inflammation. It's always hard to tell. It's probably not actual inflammation because I had it like over multiple muscles in my body that kind of accompanied the fever situation. or rather came in later. But I mean, that seems to be mostly gone. So yeah, my body seems to have done some work and I feel pretty good. Got a bowl of salad. I ate some of it, but not really a lot yet. Okay. Somebody's having a Moroccan wedding, I think. Drums and horns. Okie dokie. Anyway, how you doing? It's just not particularly. This is always happening. I was trying to maintain focus and then that shit starts. The fuck? Oh, LSG, good to see you. But yeah, I feel pretty good. Just more soothing. Like I did go to bed pretty early as well, like before 2 o'clock even and all that. Had an Illuminati croissant before this also, and it wasn't burnt, and that was great. So I just all feel pretty good, but I am a bit late. Do I ever consult a holistic medical practitioner? Well, no, not really. I know one, I think. Hope he's still there. But like in official capacity, no, not really. I mostly just like talk to my dad or my healer. And rely upon my own experience. Anyway. What? 3:30? What do you mean, LVA Paul? What the fuck? Fireworks? In the middle of the day. Okay. Went to sleep. Oh, right. Yeah, that's late. Well, it's late. Dude, why did this whole thing I was actually wanted to do? Like, for example, I was thinking like could have a themed show and then discuss the Dark World experience I had and try to cross-reference it. Have other people experience that? And does it involve darkness? Like, I don't know. I mean, I talk a lot about it or bring it up when I get reminded about it through what I'm dealing with. But you missed the weather check? Yes, you did. It's 14 degrees Celsius. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? I'll just eat a bunch of salad then, I guess. I didn't get to watching the movie, by the way, that I downloaded yesterday. But I will. I will watch it this weekend. Firecrackers, yeah, just my basic mortars. Right, LVAPO. Yeah, you were kept up talking on Discord and Element, right. Yeah, no, I missed out on all that. I was watching Owen Benjamin live, who, yeah, streams really late these days, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, when it's there, it is kind of welcome to watch. And he had another hilarious cartoon yesterday from Mountain Bear about it, like his Russell Brand impression, and that was amazing. Honey has healing properties. Yeah, I know. Like for wound healing specifically. Alright, LSG. Yeah, good to hear. The weather is finally getting a bit better. You've had a lot of frost. Okay. Well, glad to see that all of you seem to be very energetic today. Got this feel about you. So it must apparently not just be me, it's one of those days. Oh, that was over quick. Good. Huh. Or was that like the end of Ramadan or something? Was it like that? When is that? Oh no. Wait, April no, that was last week. Okay. Seemed a bit weird that you would use fireworks for that anyway. It's probably some... I don't know, man, what it was. It's probably a wedding and they started off there and then like moved on because the music stopped. And the fireworks. Anyway. Ah, you got the PayPal working? Oh, okay. Places to eat? Oh, hello, JM Laylor. Dude, I'm sorry, but I'm not super familiar with Amsterdam. I mean, dude, there's places to eat all over the place. But, like, I don't know any places there that have specifically organic food, for example, which is what I would always aim for. If you don't really care, well, then you could pretty much eat anywhere. I thought you live in Amsterdam. No, I live in Utrecht. Utrecht. Not Amsterdam. I know everybody thinks that Amsterdam is the country and the Netherlands is like a general description or something, but no, the Netherlands is the country name and the capital city is Amsterdam. I don't live in the capital city of Amsterdam. I live in Utrecht, as English people would pronounce it. Right, and by the way, I'm not even super familiar here with like good places to eat. I've become pretty picky eater since I became organic, which was like almost 2 decades ago. Okay, I haven't really eaten out much after that, and well, in the last 8 years, I've like done that like one time, twice actually. One of them being a flat earther who I haven't heard from for a while because he moved to the east in the country. Like met up with him, went to eat somewhere. That was kind of nice. Arakil the Hope, really cool guy. Met him also at the 2019 Flat Earth conference in Amsterdam. But that was like the second time. The first time was a guy, really pretty rich guy from Saudi Arabia, I think, who wanted a course, like a sort of introductory quick course of an hour into role-playing games, because he was invited to some special role-playing super session thing with theatrics and props and like a big theater, like Dungeons and Dragons type play, which the watchers can participate with, which apparently happens in Saudi Arabia, or it used to happen. It was a thing for a while. So yeah, he paid me for that. It was really funny. I mean, I barely got to teach him anything, but he was like all cool with it. I wanted to teach him more, but it's like he just... I don't remember what all happened. Just the mechanics, and he just started talking about how it went, what he's seen, and because to me that was like very curious. I never heard of that they did such things there. Anyway, that's like the 2 times that I ate at a restaurant because it's organic here in Utrecht. That's it. I know 2 places. There might be more. I don't really know a lot of Utrecht. I know maybe like a quarter. From the center to mid-north, right? That's pretty much what I know. Anyway. You telling us not all Dutch people live in Amsterdam? Yeah, classical homeopath. It's true. But I mean, Amsterdam does get a lot in the news. It's like if there's like protests, it's typically like in Amsterdam or in Den Haag. So you get to hear about those places in the news more. Anyway. How is your name? If pronounced in Dutch. Really? You're asking that? Okay. Well, it's arbein. Yeah. And I mean, you can be like pretty well at pronouncing things in English, and it's very hard to get. I mean, they've all tried. Like Adam Meek and Nathan Oakley, they can't do it. They're getting close, but they can't really do it. It's just, it doesn't really work. There's like little micro mechanisms in my verbal system that English people just never ever use. Like they don't know what that is. And that only happens when you speak Dutch. So, yeah, Utrecht, Arwijn, Arwijn. You know, you can't really do it like that. You just can't. I know. It's not your fault. And hey, to be fair, man, like half the Dutch people here don't even properly pronounce Dutch, so they're just sloppy with their language. A lot of them, or they're really thick on the accent, and then I can barely hear what they're saying. But me personally, I was educated really to speak High Dutch. That's like what my parents really tried on me. And I kind of stuck to that. And it is good because I don't talk a lot all the time, but when I talk, I then really use proper pronunciation and really clear speech. What? A W sounds like a V? No. W. W. Arwijn. Wijn. Not wijn. 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 Not wijn. You got it all wrong, dude. I don't know, maybe the mic's not getting it. And the J is like a Y. Well, it's IJ. Literally. IJ is like a unify. They unify that. But it's not the hard Y. Like, technically it is the same, but it's not used. We don't use that hard Y like that in the language. Like that comes up when you talk another language like English or use Latin, right? We typically use IJ in names and in the common language, and there's another I that's EI. Sounds the same, but there's different places to use it. Yeah, I mean, Dutch technically is one of the most complicated languages in the world. I think officially it's like graded more complicated by linguists than Chinese because of the weird details in it that are like, there's a lot of aberrations everywhere. It's really complicated. Anyway. Is Arwijn my artistical name? No, that's actually my middle name, but I am using my middle name as my internet handle. Yes. But it is actually my name. It's in my passport. Never heard of that name before. Okay. Well, it's a middle name. It's not my front name. And to be fair, technically it's Elven. Like Tolkien Elven. That was the entire idea of it. Difficult multiple slang dialect. Yeah, but Elviapol, that's different. That's just what people start to do with the language and give it their own little twist. That's not aberrations. That's just weird accent stuff. I mean, that you have that all over the place. I mentioned it earlier in the Netherlands. There's people that just get really sloppy or like they have a regional weird little tricky thing they like to say things at, right? But that has nothing to do with the actual fundamental language. There's like weird aberrations in the language, in the official high spoken. It's like the way things are ordered are kind of weird. Like, even as a Dutch person, to learn Dutch and be really good at it is really difficult. Like, in school, I was not too great at Dutch. I was actually better at English, which is kind of weird. But I did pass with my Dutch, but it is a more complicated language in English. It's just a fact. Even as a Dutch person, it is. Like, the way things are ordered, little oddities, all over the place. Like, weird things. Like, yeah, it's exactly the same. You can't hear any difference, but it's written differently. Like, what? And you have some of that in English, but I mean, the Dutch also have that. And potentially more of that. So, meaning inspiring confidence. Cool. Yeah, I've heard that before. It's really funny though, the gentle part. I guess that, yeah, I am gentle, but I can also have that other side, of course, which is not really gentle. Or is it? No, it's not. But yeah, I've heard that before. But in Elven, it has a different name. It has a different meaning. It means friend of the eagle, which has a really interesting esoteric implications. Like, who's the eagle, right? You'd almost think like, hey, is that like the eagle of America or something? Because I was at a very young age like very sympathetic. Loved Transformers, I loved that American thing. I hated war though, but I wasn't really too aware of it. Or even, yeah. So, it means friend of the eagle and evening star, just like Arwen does, but it is a male elven name. So I could be like Arwen's cousin or something. Or nephew, whatever. Native American names always mean something. Yeah. Well, my parents were really into Native Americans. They had a high revere of that, and as a baby, I went to America. Like, just born, and Sometimes I think they just went there just to get me some kind of Native American blessing. I mean, I am on like a photo as a baby with some Native American and their baby. It's a really funny photo. I still have it on my computer somewhere. But I mean, the name is specifically like Tolkien based. Do I read it? No. But that definitely rings bells. I know that there's books like that. I don't think I've read them. Don't remember them distinctly, but I might be wrong. Maybe it's like so long ago that it just completely forgot because of weird things. I don't know. But I wasn't really a big reader anyway. I never really liked reading books. I like listening to people talk. Or, well, television. You know, on television, yeah, people talk. Western books and comics. Yeah, sure. No, I was never really big into comics. There's a couple of weird things, but I mean, not really. Anyway, right, so maybe enough with the interrogation already. What was I gonna talk about? No, I lost track. Yeah, we rolled into language. Connection between paganism and Hinduism. Okay. Could be, I guess. That's weird. Hello, steampunk punk. What the fuck? I don't... What the hell are you talking about, Moxie? I didn't understand a word you just said. Oh, okay. Yeah, Tarot. No, that makes sense. I mean... Yeah, there are similarities. Kind of weird though. Like, is it really true? Like, Americans going all pagan? Is that really a thing? Yeah, Tara, it sounds like that article you were reading might be a bit propagandish. A Norse group on Facebook are huge. Okay. I'm sure they are. There's whole hives of, like, yeah, Nordic religious people like that on the internet. Don't really get it though. I mean, Christianity or paganism? This might sound weird, but can't you be both? Really? It's like, oh, I like. There's a lot of interesting things about paganism, but I mean, I'm not gonna deny Christ, right? I will deny, however, a lot of nonsense that is ascribed to Christ in accordance to Christianity. In that sense, I'm not gonna say the magic words to be saved and be part of your group. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah? I follow reason and logic. Right? I will not surrender reason. I refuse. Like, I literally refuse. And hey, if that means I'm damned to some kind of hell or something, then so be it. It's my decision. And it's like not gonna be undecided. I'm not gonna reverse that. I am sticking to this. But I definitely respect Christ. Even though it's kind of tough to even figure out what he was. Right? But at the same time, I don't see anything wrong with paganism, really. Except if it is, well, if it has the devil in there. So it's like every religion is like that. It's like every religion has its virtues and its pitfalls. And then you can see by the group of people how far have you fallen into the pit, how thick with grabblers, how bloated with grabblers are your religious group. It's always the same freaking pattern. It's like every religion has its virtues, but it's up to the people doing it over time and all that as to how bad the religion gets because of the spiritual corruption. Right? I mean, paganism sounds great, yeah, until you get anti-Christian and like basically evil, and it's like, no, everything goes, oh, we're gonna go back to the oldest ways with sacrifices and shit. Like, you're fucking insane. If you do that. That's not paganism, that's Satanism. Under the guise of paganism. It's like doing the satanic things under an excuse of paganism. Yeah? That's how I see that. But as long as you're just like honoring moments in time, like the seasons, all these effects, there's no problem with that whatsoever. But if you're gonna use it as some excuse to do, yeah, sacrifices and shit, yeah, then you're just a Satanist. I do not, like, I don't connect those two. And people that let that happen and think it's okay are really freaking deluded. They might be, as pagans, not realizing that that is just really wrong with it, that basically destroys everything that they're doing. Can I define Grabbler in the context of religion? It's difficult. A Grabbler is just somebody who is usually really good with money and just thrives on mind control and weaponized hypocrisy, victim tactics, that they thrive on the sins of others. So if people are sinful, then they know how to get those people's favor and then basically take power. That's what Grabblers do. Now, they might be of a certain type of religion, or they might say they are, right? But you have Grabblers in all religions. Those people effectively do the same things, follow the same patterns, all about sin, all about providing for the sin of others within that religion. And those are the Grabblers. It's a thing, an effect, a spirit of corruption. And I call them Grabblers, right? Do you think church Christians... Oh, what? What does that mean? Why would church Christians be extremists? I don't get it, Tarot. Which church Christians? Like, define Christians or church Christians. I don't get it. Making shit up to gatekeep others? Yeah, Steampunk Punk, they also do that. So can you define it, Tarot? I asked you to define it. Would be great if you did. Like, I don't see how people that go to churches are in the way of truth community. Like, which truth community? Are you talking about the people that identify strongly as Christians within the Flat Earth community, right? Because then you're talking about specific people that I can more specifically identify. Because if you're going to just talk general, how the fuck do I know what those Christians out there, self-proclaimed Christians following some church, what they do in their life? I have no idea, dude. I don't know how they go about. All I know is what I got to see here. It's how that church basically cucked to the current thing. That's what I got to see. And that seems to be a general problem with a lot of Christian groups, is that they tend to cuck. Which is extremely embarrassing. That's why I have hashtag cuck Christians among my hashtag list. It's there for a good reason. It's like the ultimate test now of Christianity is, are you going to cuck? And the more people will, the more Christianity will just fade into absolute ridicule and fizzle. Be abandoned. Corrupted so far that it lost its cohesion. That mechanism, that is. I mean, because following Christ is a whole different thing. If you just follow Christ and you're not part of a church. Right? Christ himself talks about it. It's just where you meet two others. That is the real church. So basically, no, don't have a church, a standard place to go to every time. Like, he's basically saying that is not the real thing, right? And I've always find that so ironic about everything that Christians do typically culturally, and then compare it to what Christ talks about, that it's like so many times it's exactly the opposite. Like the ones that have made the habits of Christianity did it specifically to bypass everything Christ said. Like, how do you accomplish that? How do you, like, in this age, have a Bible and then not figure that out? I don't get it. You're going to a church day in or every week for like decades, and you keep reading that book, and you just look past how what you're doing is in contrast to what Christ says you should be doing. Like, how can you not see that? How can you keep reading that thing and get it wrong your entire fucking life? You idiots! Okay. Right. The point of Christianity is you can't be a sheep. That's the point. Yeah? A sheep in the face of Christ. Well, you're gonna have to have a Christ then. Right? If you want to be a sheep to a Christ, well, he has to then actually be there. Somebody has to do those things that he did in order for you to have the luxury to be a sheep to him. But if none in your community are actually just doing that and opposing lies and sticking up for the old values and dispelling crazy notions that would, contrast with the old teachings, then it all falls apart into nonsense. You need those figures. You need those people that are going to say, no, gays can't get married. Right? It's so stupid. I feel stupid even saying it because of it's just so annoying. But it is just what it is. And everybody starts shitting all over you and guess what? That's what it is. That's the real thing. That's the reality. You want to be a Christian? Then uphold the old values at any cost. Right? You're not gonna be rich as a real Christian. Good luck with that, dude. It's absolutely impossible. You can't do it. You can't. It will not work. Every opportunity for money, like to increase that, is all taking you away from Christ's teachings. Every single fucking thing. Right? So if there is some kind of a church and it's really wealthy, that's fucking Satan. Like, it is. It's not a scammer. No, it is literally Satan. It's like Lucifer, Satan himself, doing that thing again in a microcosm, which is what the Catholic Church was and does. And it's just the same effect springing forth. Right? I mean, oh, you think you're a Christian? Well, guess what? Satan's coming for you. Oh, you think it's obvious and out? No, it's coming for you, among you. Yeah? You think you can be an actual Christian without a massive challenge? You think it's the easy religion? Oh, you just say the stupid little riddle and you're safe. Well, guess what, you fucking idiots? It's exactly the opposite. That's Satan. Satan offering you a supposed Christianity. An easy life. A relief. Well, you're wrong. If you want to be a Christian, it is all tough. All of it. You're not gonna have an easy life. But you might have a great life. You might realize that money really isn't all that valuable. That good spirit and camaraderie and loyalty and like loyalty in family even. How unbelievably precious that really is, right? That's closer to Christ. Tough times. Right? Riches, like even if you gain them honestly, they're a curse. They're a curse. One way or the other, it's always a curse. Got a lot of money, you are in trouble. You're going to attract nastiness that's trying to get it from you. You're going to be tempted to defend it and thereby sin. It's always shit. And actual shit is actually less. Riches are like shit, but that's a misunderstanding in the mind because shit is actually kind of precious, right? Nobody wants it. Nobody's going to steal that from you. But if you put it in the ground after letting it ferment for a bit, you can literally reap the food from it if you plant food. Yeah? Isn't it ironic? We call shit a terrible thing, but it isn't. But riches is like, oh, that's the greatest thing ever. No, that's actually the terrible thing. Yeah, it's not, oh, unequal distribution. No, it's just wealth. Wealth itself is corrupting. And all it leads to is more corruption. More weakness. Right? Testing. Having yourself being tested is what a Christian is really about. Going through tough times. The challenge, right? That's the purpose. That's the real path. The challenge. Not the easy ways. What do I have to say about Islam? Well, I think Islam is just fine. They have their own grabblers though. I mean, there's cultural issues in a lot of those groups. But I mean, at least Islam didn't lose its fangs in ways. Yeah? At least they have a concept like Sharia law where they just brutally punish sinners. I mean, that's a good thing. I like that about it. I respect that. It means they mean it. Yeah? Where's that in Christianity? It's all gone. It's all bullied out. How dare you, stupid Christian? Oh, you're archaic, you're bigoted. Yeah. And you let those fucking demons cuck you to hell. And now what do you got? You're nothing but a castrated goat now, Christianity. You weak shithead. You're weak. You let them take your balls. You weaklings! Have I read the Quran? No, personally I've not. I've met Muslims, I've talked about the book a bit. And via other people, I have reliable insights about it. What the fuck? Don't say that. And you don't talk like that either. Vile book? What, you're talking about the Quran? Dude, get over your fucking self. You're an idiot. It's not more vile than the Old Testament. Yeah? And besides, do you even know what you're reading there? Do you know it? Oh, you've read it. Okay. Well, you obviously then got caught up on certain things and you don't get the context of it. You don't get that it is for those people with how they work, right? So yeah, it's your problem. Yeah, nobody literally does frickin' everything from that book. Like, just like nobody does frickin' everything from the Bible, okay? That's literally what I just talked about anyway. They do nothing about it, they do the opposite. In Islam, they have just a very distinct rules set that might not even be really directly based on the Quran, dare I say, because it's not super hardcore, but it is still hardcore enough. It's still consequences, hard on sin. But yeah, I mean, freaky stuff happened back then, man. That's just how they did it. You have to realize that Islam was like, it was a very much war-torn region. Like, everybody just kept slaughtering each other, right? And this thing stopped that. It stopped that from happening, tamed that unchained demon that was roaming around in that region, and basically created a golden age. So it's the best thing that ever happened to that region. Right? You just don't understand the context. You're so vile. Look at it. You don't understand, dude. People were tearing each other apart at that time. Okay? Control by fear and the sword. Yeah, that's fucking right. Yeah. Yeah? We could use that in this age. We could use some of that. Because look what happens when you don't do that, Clap Ruckus. You might have noticed some of that. Huh? With your big mouth? Big mouth thinking that, oh, it's all so terrible. Yeah, well, it did create a golden age, and they did actually get a whole bunch of things under control. Yeah, Clip Ruckus, but that, you see, you don't even understand the freaking book, yeah? You see, Islam actually does allow other religions. They just don't allow you to break their rules. Yeah? Unlike some other countries in that region? Huh? The book is terrible, made me read it. Yeah. Sure it is. There were terrible times, and they had to get really rough. So yeah, I'm sorry that traumatized you, but yeah, this is your freaking problem, dude. If you're just a softie. Stoning a woman to death with no evidence. Yeah. Sometimes you have to just, like, be brutally dominant, right? To tame the demon. And yeah, that's always, oh my god, it's so terrible. Yeah, but at some point, everybody just has to fall in line, even if that means that there's gonna be potentially innocent victims, right? I get that. You don't seem to get that. You watch too many Hollywood movies, probably, right? Where that's always disapproved, always, under every circumstance. There's never a justification why that might happen, right? Because in every war, there's always going to be innocent people that fall victim. That's a fact. It's a historically repeating fact. You know that is true. Still happens. You don't watch TV? Never? Oh, sure. Never. Right. You don't have time. Sure. But you do have time to shit talk, though. Right? I mean, have you ever talked to a Muslim? Have you ever asked them, what about this? What about that? Ever heard them out? Like, how do they regard that? Because from the way you're talking, doesn't sound like it at all. I think you just read the book and you never actually talked to a Muslim. Praise to Allah. Yeah, sure, Terry. I mean, I am absolutely, fundamentally convinced that Allah is the same God that Christ worshipped. Yeah? Yeah, I fucking said it. It's the same one. Christians are just fucking possessed by demons, by the freaking Pope demon, in order to turn it into that ridiculous idolatry. Ridiculous idolatry. Yeah? Christ himself did not accept that. Right? Well, at least Islam didn't do that. None of them do. They just see it. No, he's the prophet. Yeah, that's the way Christ should be seen. He should be seen as the prophet. Our prophet, the Christian prophet. This is what he is. So we don't like a different opinion. No, I just don't like useless negativity. I don't see useless negativity as an opinion at all. I just see it as a dwelling. A mistake. Okay, Dr. Utger. See you later. Yeah, Tarot. Well, there is that. There is a Jesus who did actually go all the way to India. And there's a temple of him there. Right? This makes things kind of complicated because, like, well, as I say, there might have been two Jesuses. One being the nobleman descending from Cleopatra herself, and like the speaker, the brilliant speaker nobleman who was like a leader. And then there's the healer Christ. And the healer Christ died. And the nobleman left and went to India. That's roughly the model now in my mind about it. Weird dream? Hey, what are you talking about, MTRC? No point pointing out the contradictions? Yeah, oh sure. Right, my issue is not what is in that book. I mean, Christianity is just as freaking weird, man. Just read the Old Testament, right? So yeah, Clap Ruckus, if you're like, all religions are idiotic, and so is Islam, okay, fair enough. If that is your stance, then I understand. But if you're specifically going after Islam but favor some other, then you're a fucking hypocrite. And you don't understand the context of religion itself. I mean, it's formed in the era it's formed in. It's in a way to help overcome the issues of the time. And there's fractal implications of that. Right? That's how you should read a religion. When was it founded? What was going on in the era? And then take that into account, right? And dude, if it's like 1,000 years later or even more, a lot of things change. And you could even say they change because that happened. So you just to say, oh, it's so barbaric, you just don't understand what the fuck you're reading. You don't understand religion itself. You're not supposed to just do exactly, you're not supposed to reenact all the things in the book or something like that. You're supposed to learn from it, see what happens, see what spirit went around, what was there, and how they changed it. What the issues were that were left open, and they broke through that. They cut it out. They stopped that and created order. And it might have seemed all very brutal and all that. Had to be done. Had to break through the weakness. And that's what all these religions are about. That's what the Bible is about too. It's all about breaking through the weakness. And sometimes you gotta get brutal to do that. Do you guys? No, that's all Catholic nonsense, Septepi, and is not part of the Bible. There's no mention of any of that kind of nonsense in there. Dude, MTRC, why the hell are you dreaming about me? That's just really weird. Right? You might have to PayPal for me because this is just getting kind of weird. A lot of Christians do believe it. Yeah, well, they're idiots. And they get very easily led around by nonsense stories. Right. Anyway, pretty intense today. I think it's been a good show so far. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna call this though. And I got a title for now. Yeah, not bad, Tarot. I was almost gonna put cuck Christians in there, but then I thought this, because it is universal, I thought, yeah, Grabblers in every religion, get the context right. Seems like a proper Arwinian title. But I like that you were thinking in the same direction there, Tarot. It's good to have you, like, with me when these kind of heated things come up. Clap Rock is getting all Islamophobic, which is technically a technical term, right? It's not a political statement. That's just technically correct. That's Islamophobia. Hardcore show titles are Arwinian? No, they're not. That I don't understand why you'd say that. No, I try to hit hard, but in a way that it's still, you can't really tie it down, so that like your subconscious tells you like this is that thing that is sort of you could consider as offensive, but they can't pin it down. That's how I like to title things. right? If it's too straightforward, it's, yeah, well, it's just not super interesting. Then it almost becomes like a political statement, right? There has to be a little bit of a puzzle in what is said that either draws you into like, okay, what is he talking about? That is referenced in the title, or like, I don't understand this thing entirely. I might need to watch it to really get it. Or if you've already watched it, then you get it. It's like after you've watched the show, you should completely understand the title. You should completely understand why the title is the way it is. Saying the right... Yeah, well, it not in the show title, but yes, in the show itself, me speaking, yeah, I try to be very hardcore. Or I am, I guess. Right? But it's very difficult, though. Ruffling feathers. Because there's a lot of uncertainties in general about a lot of things. That's why it's so important to get the context right. Right? I see it kind of like this. It's like Islam, the Quran, Muhammad and his following, they had to be this hard. Like, it's like almost their sacrifice. It's like, that is how serious they took it. Right? I mean, those people have a conscience. They do have feelings. They have feelings of guilt. Yet they went that far. That's how serious they took it. Yeah? You have to think about that. That's part of the power of the religion. How serious are you going to take it? Not how barbaric can you get, but how serious are you going to be about the rules? Right? But yeah, what are these rules? You know, that's the Grabble in its own way. But I mean, like, with some of these rules are very sensible, and others are like more cultural, it seems, a little bit. But I guess that's like another layer. They have different like layers of rules, and some are like really important and like deadly if you break them, and others are like not recommended, more like that. So they have very distinct system for it. They have like a mechanism. That's what I've heard from people that practice Islam. That is how you regard it. And Christians don't have that. They don't even have any of that. Okay? It's all one big soup to Christians, or whatever the person feels like about it. They don't even have a specific rule set like that. Even though there are commandments, right? And then the rest is taken as advice. Well, it's good advice. And yeah, I mean, personally, I am not a super brutal Christian in that sense that I like, I have to do everything exactly like that. Like, I can't do that. I'm too weakened already. Like, I would have had to live among people that would actually do that in order to be able to copy that example and become like that. Nobody around me was like that. I had to reforge all the discipline out of nothing for myself. With some sparse wisdom and examples from my dad mostly. Problem is, if they get fed some wrong ideas, they get stuck with it. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, Tarot, how is that any different from Christians? Look at all the Christians that have fallen into the current thing and just completely lost themselves in that nonsense. Sided with the beast, obviously. I mean, yeah, Muslims have that issue too, sometimes. Some of them. But I'm pretty sure that mosques and like the religious leaders of mosques, that they don't do like the current thing. They keep all of that out. All of it. Like the mosque is just for prayer and for God and nothing else. Nothing. Right? Christians don't even do that. They bring frickin' politics into their stupid church. They bring atheist globes outer space nonsense talk into their church. I mean, absurd. Did everybody just go away? Is the Islamophobia getting to you all? Or maybe there's some Christian pride that is like getting fed some competition sensations, like, wait, but Christians are better. Is that what's blocking you? I get it. But in reality, Christianity and Islam are brothers. They are brothers. Following the same God. They are. You could just merge them together, right? You could. But it's not gonna happen, I hope. Because Christianity is not really in a good spot right now. Christians still see contradictions and are open to dialogue. Right, well, there's Muslims that are open to dialogue too. But yes, to be fair, they do have a thing where, but this is really just logical and for their own protection. But it has its own pitfalls, and that is that they have to like the Quran like can never be changed. Like not a letter, nothing is changed ever under any circumstance. Even if the entire world blows up, it can never be changed, right? Yeah, well, that's gonna make people really sensitive that follow it, because it's like, yeah, it can never be changed. So if somebody's going to be like, I'm just trying to be a contradiction, they're going to be like, hey, dude, fuck off. You know? We're not going to change it. So it's almost like a more personal response you get then. It's purely logical, yeah? Now, Christians don't have that. They can debate. It does help. It does help develop more wisdom and more insight and rationality. But it also leaves you prone with the interpretation of what you're reading, in a way. Because all kinds of people can have their weird philosophies, inject that, even artificially pump it up, popularize it, and thereby changing the way people think about it. Make them forget wisdom, right? That's the downside. And hey, I like Christianity in that sense. Because I like debating culture. I like thinking. I like rationality. It's important for me. It's like intellectual freedom, the ability to argue things and to counteract dogma. Very important. To speak against it or to argue against it. And yeah, to clear things up, to gain a greater depth as to the context of the entire religion, right? So that you could eventually get such a clear view on it that you could say, like, yeah, they did that then. Because that was the way things worked back then. And it was already like really revolutionary what they were doing. Now, to us, that seems really outdated because we're so much further down the line. We got other types of problems that they didn't have. They never got to that. They were dealing with that level. And so that is what they did, right? That's what you have to understand about it. And a lot of people, a lot of Christians do actually understand that about it, which is good. Helps them with clarity, right? But then, at the same time, if you then also get stuck in the riddles, oh, 3 are 1 and is praying to himself is fulfilling hermeneutics, yeah, then the wisdom isn't for nothing. Because then you're still trapped. You're still trapped in things that are literally not in that book. Even to this day, even with all the versions, it's not actually in there. It's like this tenacious rumor about it through the priesthood that just never goes away. Right. I wonder if there's issues like that with Islam too, where they have they don't have a Trinity thing, but that there might be other, like, from their old religious freaking background, like certain interpretations that are just very popular, even though it's literally not in the book. I wonder, is there such a thing? I mean, Islam is very widespread. It's all over the world, so I'd be surprised if there wasn't anything like that with any of them, where they basically project a bit of their own ideas onto Islam and how they do it. But probably not as vividly as this has happened with Western Christianity and all that. But I mean, like, even if there's Christianity in other locations in the world, and if you look at how they do it, they're still more old-fashioned, like the older ways, the real Christianity. Like, they've maintained more of the old ways and less of the newer corruptions, too, out there. I mean, in the West, the corruption of Christianity has viciously accelerated, but it's also because of the open persecution and the slandering. You're a bigot now, or a Nazi or something if you're a Christian. Ridiculous. And especially ridiculous that Christianity is not doing anything against that. Like, why aren't you fighting back? Like, fighting back against the narrative. Like, who the fuck are you to tell us that you're a bigot because you're a Christian? Or because God simply says that gay is wrong, right? That homosexual is wrong. Who the fuck are you? Like, that's a good thing. He pointed out something that is real and that's important. And oh, none of you like it? Why? Because you're gay? Because you got yourself poisoned? You got yourself poisoned as a kid? or in your mother's womb, and you become gay. Yeah. Poison. A lot of it, apparently, is caused by poison. How typical. Council of must be Nicaea. Yeah. Yeah, Council of Nicaea, the ultimate grabble. Like all the grabblers of all the sects of the religion came together and made the ultimate grabble. Right? All the peak of the priesthood of the Christianity. Like, so all the corrupted people that are already like kind of working against Christ, but still less than they do these days, all came together to decide on how to bypass it. Right? Because they could have just said, yeah, let's just have all books. And we just shove them together. Like, it's all of it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't agree everything, but we just do that. No. They had to cut it down and exclude books and then weave this bizarre other context through it that lead to these riddles that eventually you chant and they make no freaking sense. You'll never understand that, but if you just chant that, then you're saved, and like whatever you did, it's all good. Like, what the fuck, man? It is the ultimate grabble. And it came forth from the Council of Nicaea. Before that time, there was no freaking Trinity nonsense. I mean, you could argue they made that up. They didn't even put it in the Bible, but they certainly did make it up. It's where the idolatry started. I bet you that before the Council of Nicaea, Jesus Christ was not regarded as a god, as if incarnation of the Creator himself. No, they made it into that. They took like esoteric wisdom and then reified it, reinforced that idea and into ways that it becomes literal, which it isn't. Yeah, a lot of things that are talked about, that Christ talks about, are metaphysical. Obviously. Oh, but the priesthood gets to pick and choose when it's literal and when it's metaphysical? Oh. Okay. Well, I don't trust their judgment at all because it seems to be extremely biased as directed. They're instructed on how to interpret it through hermeneutics, which leads to you believing in words and ideas that are literally not in the book. Good luck with that. I'll just read the words and then make up my mind. Beware the religious grabbler gravy. Yeah, I appreciate the attempt, but I'm pretty satisfied with my show title today. But yeah, it's been a good show, very religion oriented, and I can't talk more about it. It also feels, because there's other people I know now around me that think alike, and that is very reassuring. Because if I'd had to like do all this just on my own, basically going against the whole thing, that's fair. It makes me miserable because it's super isolating, and yeah, well, that's just it. It just makes you feel really isolated. But I know that I'm not really alone at this. There's other people that have also developed this insight. Owen Benjamin being one of them. I really appreciate the way that he's dealt with it so far. Really do appreciate it. I really respect that. And also Adam Meakin's insights have been invaluable. Really, really, really useful to me. Right, anyway, I'm gonna round out the show. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogans it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and you can always use the support, so please keep it coming, guys. I mean, it's been a while. Right? I think I deserve some. I hope. Maybe half of you now think, I'm not gonna give you to the blasphemer. Probably not. I mean, I think I probably scared those types away for a while. Anyhow, please do support me. I can really use it. Right, so I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1585 on a Saturday, so it's going to be 2 p.m. Amsterdam time. Hope to see you then. And of course, I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 9080 channel, which should start up any second now. Hope to see you there in chat. And until the next video, keep it flat.